Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Welcome back to the new session of your social science children. We have completed 2 lessons in history, 2 lessons in geography and 1 lesson in civics. So what's next? We are going to start with the civics lesson, right? So the lesson we are going to start with is key elements of a democratic government. So we are going to see what are all the important factors affecting the democratic government. What are all the important factors which has to be followed or which should be present in a democratic government. So now tell me, when we are in a group of people, for example in our class itself, okay, so when I am going to choose a prefect, okay, so what will I ask? I will ask your option. Maybe I choose 2 or 3 and I will ask you to select one, right? I may ask you to raise your hands for the person whom you want to be your prefect, right? So like that, for selecting a particular thing when we are in group, okay, for selecting a particular leader when we are in group, what do? We give our options on majority. We finally choose the person who has been selected by the majority of the people, right? See, for example, when a group of friends, okay, say a 10 or 15 group of 15 friends, okay, so when they are planning to go for a movie, each one may have an opinion about a movie, right? So one person will say this movie, the other one will say that movie. So when there are various options, how do we choose on one? We just select how many wants this movie and how many wants that movie. So based on that, we will choose the majority people going with and we will go to that movie, right? So that is how selecting on a particular thing or a particular leader or a particular thing, we go with voting. This process is called voting, right? See, here the option, we have various options for voting, okay? We can write in a paper the option for us, right? We can write it in a paper and put it in the box. So the papers will be checked and the majority will win again. So the same way we can say yes or no, and based on that the decision will be taken. So that is how the voting is the method of going with the majority, choosing a particular thing or a leader based on the decision of the majority of people. That is voting. Clear? So when we move on to voting, it is one of the most peaceful method of choosing over a thing. Okay, when we have various options, okay, we may have various options, but to choose one thing on a peaceful way, to avoid conflicts, to avoid fights or any disturbances or any violence, we can go for voting because it is going to be the peaceful method, right? Then it is the fairest means of choosing an option. It is because whatever it is, okay, because it is the way we voice out our opinion. I am going to select whoever I want, but the final decision is going to be different or the same, we don't know, right? Because when many of us give us our opinion, okay, there are chances that the option we chose for may win, right? So that is how it is the one of the fairest means of choosing an option, whatever may be a thing or a place. Maybe for a vacation if we are planning with our family, okay, so we are 5 or 6 of us, so 2 wants to go here, 4 wants to go there, so we will go with the majority, right? So that is how we are going to choose an option. Then it ensures impartiality and equality. So impartiality is nothing but not being partial, okay, so it does not favor anyone. It is not going to help anyone personally, okay? By voting, we are just going to go with the majority, that's it, okay? And it is the important feature of democracy. So voting is again a very important feature in a democratic country. So we have seen democracy about what is democracy in our previous lesson, right? So now we will see once again. It is the form of the government elected by the people to hold the power on behalf of them, okay. See, not everyone can go and rule the country. So what we do? We choose a person, we choose a representative for us to govern us, to take care of us. Okay, so that is what democracy. It is the government of the people, by the people and for the people. Clear? So this is the very important statement about democracy. It is a government of the people, by the people and for the people. So now we are going to see what are all the key elements of democracy. Okay, so what are the key elements? I told you that any element, not only for democracy, any key element is the element which is very important for the working of that particular thing. Okay, so key element of democracy are the elements which influences the workings of the democratic government. So the key elements of the democracy is very important for the smooth functioning of the government. Okay, smooth functioning of the government, state, the country itself. Okay. So these four are the key elements of democracy. They are participation, accountability, conflict resolution and equality and justice. Okay, so we all know what is participation. Sorry. Yes. We all know what is participation. To take part in some activity, right? Taking part is called as participation. Clear? Yes. So we all are familiar with this word. Now accountability. Accountability is a new word. Okay, accountable is being responsible, or we are answerable. That is called as accountability. Okay, being responsible or answerable. Clear? Then conflict resolution. Conflict resolution is nothing but, conflict itself means that difference of opinions. Okay, so there may be many difference of opinions in even in a group of friends. We will have various opinions, right? So when it comes to a country, how we are going to solve it, how a democratic government is going to solve it. Okay, so conflict means difference of opinion and the resolution means how it is going to be solved. Okay, and equality and justice. Equality is nothing but everyone is treated equal. Everyone is treated equal. Okay, and finally justice. Justice is nothing but following the rules and regulations, law and order of the country. Justice gives only about the law and order. So if all these four key elements go well, work smoothly, then the country is going to be a peaceful democratic country. Fine. So first we are going to see about participation. Okay, so in a democracy, participation is nothing but taking part in the dissolution or formation of the government. Okay, so everyone has to participate in the government. Formation is forming a new government. Dissolution is the government is being dissolved. When the government is not performing well or the government is not doing good to people, then it can be dissolved with the help of the people itself, because we are choosing our representative. Clear? So the participation is taking part in formation or dissolution of the government. So there are two ways of participation. One is direct method to participate, or the other one is indirect method to participate. You can also see here, participation is nothing but being involved, getting into a thing, right? So first we will see what is the direct method of participation. Do you have any idea, children? Yes, direct method to participate is by voting, because we are going to select our representatives. So elections are the most direct method to participate in the democracy, okay, the representative democracy. And it is very, we have seen already in our previous civics lesson, all the adult members of the country. Who are the adult members of the country? People who have completed 18 years of age. Completed 18 years of age. Okay, so they are called as adult members. So all the members of the country, irrespective of all the diversities. What are diversities? The divisions or the differences we have based on religion, caste, creed, community, color, sex, being it a male or female, whatever it is, okay. So based on that, based on this gender, class, everything, irrespective of all these, whatever gender they may be, whatever class they may be, whatever religion they may be, ignore all that. Any person who have completed 18 years of age, okay, they should participate in the democracy. That is, how do they participate then? They participate through elections. So not everyone will participate directly by election getting into the political grounds, right? We participate in election just by voting. We want to choose our representative, so we vote. Okay, so these elected leaders act as the representatives of people. See, this is very important. In democracy, the leaders are the representatives of the people, okay, and they just continue running the government on behalf of people. Clear? So after the election, what happens? A government gets formed and they start continuing being in the power, right? So when they are in power, they are they will be on rule, they will be on power for a fixed period of time, okay, for particular years they will be on rule. So in India, it is, we know that we get elections every 5 years once, okay. So in India, it is 5 years. For both state government and central government, the election comes once in every 5 years, okay. So it depends on country to country, it varies also, okay. So the fixed period of time is given for a particular government to perform. So if they are going to perform good, if they are going to do many good things, many welfare measures for the people, then they will continue. People may choose to select them again as their representatives. After the first 5 years, if they are going to do many good things in that 5 years, what people will do? They will definitely choose them as their leaders once again, right? If they are not going to do, people will definitely not choose them and they will go for another representative. So here you can see, by voting we are choosing the leaders, right? So the government has to work for people's welfare, and if they are going to perform well, yes, they will be chosen again. But if they are not going to perform well, what will happen? They will lose their position, okay? Then people will choose another leader for them. So that is the power of the people. So now tell me, which is more powerful, government or people? People, because we are choosing our representative. If we don't want a particular leader, what we will do? We will send them out. We will choose another leader, right? So people are more powerful. So the ultimate power, ultimate means the final power, okay, in democracy is with the people, but not, government is also powerful, but people are more powerful than the government, okay. So the power of the people, because the control of the leaders are with us, they do not do any bad things. They try to safeguard us, they try to take many welfare measures for us. If we are not going to be more powerful, what these people will do? They will become dictators. We have seen dictatorship, right? So they will become dictators and they will start treating us like a slave, right? So that is why democratic government gives the power in the hands of people. Clear? So here you can see the power of the people is much stronger than the people in the power. You find the difference? Power of the people is the power with us is stronger than the people in the power, which means the government. Okay. So now we will see the indirect method of participation. So what are all the indirect methods? Direct methods, we have seen that we are going to participate directly by voting, by elections. So what are all the indirect methods? So there are many indirect ways to participate in the democracy. Okay. So if we are not satisfied with a particular government, if we are not satisfied with any government authority, see, government is not only the leaders, the chief minister, prime minister, no. The government is a very big structure that all the government offices, all the people working under government comes under the government. Okay. So if we are dissatisfied or if we are unhappy with any of these people, we can very well lodge a complaint against them. We can very well write to a newspaper to them that will be published. Then nowadays what we are having? Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, many things we have to talk about, right? So if we are dissatisfied with, say, we can approach the government. If we are unhappy with any particular law or any rule, or if we want any new law, we can approach the government. But see, we can voice out our opinions, right? So if what are all the methods to voice out? We can write a letter to the editor of a newspaper or a magazine so that it will be published in the newspaper. That is one way. Then we can we have organized many protest rallies, many signature campaigns have undergone, we have seen, right? So what are all these protest rallies? Just gathering into a group and shouting out against a particular thing which is not comfortable or which is not okay for us. When we are fighting against something, we gather in a group and shout out. That is protest rallies. Okay. Then this signature campaign is nothing but a letter being written. See, for example, if a particular area has no street light, okay, what we will do, if we go and complain in EB office, at times they may take action immediately. If they are not taking action, what we will do, we will write a letter, get signature from everyone in that street. Okay, so everyone will sign, then it becomes a complaint like thing. So it has to be taken. If they are not going to take, we will go to higher levels. That's it. So these campaigns are called as signature campaigns. Fine. Nowadays there are many online signature campaigns. Okay. Yes. Then we have, nowadays we have the social media platforms which are Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, everything. Okay. And finally, the government is bound to take heed and of these opinions. So government, finally what happens when many of us are supporting a particular thing, government has definitely to listen to it, right? If government is not going to listen, they are going to lose their power, right? So when all these happens, when a particular event is reported to a newspaper or a rally happens or a signature campaign goes or even a Facebook or a Twitter goes very viral nowadays. So when all these happens, government has to take heed. Heed is nothing but paying attention. Okay? Paying attention. That is, government has to take it as a warning. Government has to respond to it. Government has no other go, they have to respond to it. Okay? That is heed. Okay? So government has to listen to us, government has to take action on our request. Okay, so of these opinions, and government should act accordingly by satisfying or accepting the request. So that is the participation. We have to get ourselves involved in the government activities. We should get ourselves involved in accountability, in democracy. Okay, so now we are moving on to accountability. What is accountability? I told you earlier, it is being answerable or being responsible for one's actions. Okay, be it good or bad. Okay, so if something good is going to happen, yes, I am responsible for that. If something bad is going to happen, again I am responsible for that. That is called as accountability. So in democracy, who is accountable to people? The government. Why they are accountable to people? Because we have brought them to the power. Okay, so the leaders are answerable to people. Answerable is accountable. Okay. So why are they answerable to us? Because we have elected them, and they can be replaced if they are not competent. What is competent? Competent is they are not capable of doing something, they are not skillful to perform something. If they are going to be like that, we have the option of choosing another leader by replacing this leader. Okay, so the government is answerable to us for all the actions done by it. So we will see an example of accountability next. Okay, so if they are going to be, see, if the government is going to perform well, no issues. If they are going to be corrupt, when there are going to be lots of mistakes happening then and there, and the government is not going to take action, then it is going to lose its place, right? Then if it is going to be inefficient, if they do not know to perform, if they do not know to solve a particular issue, then they are inefficient, right? And if they are going to be dishonest, they can even be punished by judiciary. What is judiciary? In our previous lesson we have seen, right? It is the body, legal body that takes care of law and order being followed in the country, right? Judicial department is the department which works for law, which works for safeguarding the law, okay, in country. Yes, and it is independent. This judiciary is independent of executive or legislative assembly. Legislature, we have seen, it is the group of ministers, right? That is, it is an organ of government. See, executive is, legislature is the main part of government which frames the law, right? Legislature is the main part of government which frames legislature is the part of government that form of government that frames law, okay. And what about executive? Executive is the organ of the government which is headed by the Prime Minister or Chief Minister and other group of ministers, right? So all these people together forms the executive, and the legislature frames the law, and the judicial department or the judiciary takes care that the law is being imposed throughout the country and everyone follows it. Clear? So now we are going to see a part of the accountability, which is an example, okay. So we all have an act called Right to Information Act, which was passed in 2005, okay. So this Right to Information Act gives the right for each and every citizen who can question any department of government. Clear? So citizen can closely examine and monitor the functioning of the government. We can closely see, because we are in democratic country, we have all the rights to know what is happening in the country. Clear? So for that purpose, Right to Information Act was passed, okay. This Right to Information Act is also called as RTI Act, okay. So this was passed in 2005. So on this act, any Indian citizen can request, okay, has the right to request the information from any public authority. Public authority are nothing but the government staff, government employees, anyone who works for government. Okay, so the government authority are called as public authority. So any Indian citizen can ask for the information he needs from any public authority, and the authority should reply within 30 days time. 30 days is the maximum time the authority can take to reply to this question. Okay. So the process for filing this RTA is very simple. We can just write a letter and send it to that concerned department in olden days. Nowadays online option is there, okay, and it is the powerful tool in the hands of the public. Why is it powerful tool? Because we can question whoever we want. We can question if something is wrong in a particular office, we have the rights to question under this RTI, okay, and that is what I have said you. It gives them the power to question the decisions and functioning of the government. Okay, it makes the workings of the government transparent. So by asking question, we will get clarified with what is happening. So based on that, the workings of the government becomes transparent. If the authority is not going to reply within this 30 days, they can be taken into the court of law and they can be given the they should give the proper explanation that why they have not given. If the reason is genuine, then fine. If the reason is not going to be genuine, they will be given the punishment based on the mistake. Okay. So like this we have many more acts, okay, by the government. So these systems, but how will these laws will work properly? How will the system work properly? Only if we are aware of this. Only if we know that we have all these rights, only if we know that we can ask such questions, only if we know that we have the power to question, then only this is going to be effective. All these laws and all these rules and all the rights are for our benefit. But if we are going to learn about it and use it properly, then it is helpful for us. Okay? So, if we are going to be aware of our rights, roles and responsibilities and powers. So, if we are going to be aware of all these, then and we should exercise all these dutifully. So, we should perform our duties first, then we should question others, right? So, that is how, if we are going to perform our duties properly and if we are going to question, then they are forcefully answerable to us. Okay? So, say for example, this is the power of the people. This image will show you clearly the leader is standing there, right? A group of people who support him stands here. If he is not going to be good, what will happen? One by one will walk away. Then what will happen? He will fall down. He will not be on power. Clear? So, that is how democracy has given us power. Clear, children? See you in next session with the other two key elements of democracy. Thank you. Shri Gurubhyo Namah.